Hello everyone. I just put a post up on my personal Facebook page, and I wanted to make a wee video about it. So basically, after nearly 10 years of my mum doing strength training, I finally convinced my dad to give it a go. So my dad's not on Facebook, so he's not really on any social media. So if I don't tell you about it, you're never going to hear about it. So he'll be 71 next year, and he's always been the fittest man that I know. Um, Played football when he was younger. He cycled. Some days he would regularly cycle 20 miles, 25 miles a day. Um, Back when he was still working, because he would go between two different schools, and he just cycled to one school, get a taxi to another school, and then cycle home. We end up being like well over 20 miles every day. And what's happened recently with my dad is he started losing muscle mass, particularly in his legs. And even in the last few months, he's begun to walk with a limp. And there's definitely been a particular decline. Now, he's all right, he's fine, he's not hobbling around, he's not frail, he's still getting about, but it's been a particular decline in the last 6 months. So on Monday morning, I took him to get an x-ray in his knee early in the morning. And as we were coming back, I was talking to him about strength training and how the high rep body weight exercises he was doing that he'd found on YouTube were not going to help him. And he'd kind of started to realize this fact himself as he'd been doing them for about 5 or 6 weeks and he was seeing the results. So what exactly is the problem that my dad is facing? And it might be the one that you're facing too. The problem is that most rehab is directed to folks like my dad, that is directed to folks my dad's age, is going to be assuming that that person is very deconditioned and needs to take this very slowly. This is because they are most likely not done anything that's truly strenuous for years and even decades. This is certainly not the case for my dad. As I mentioned before, he's fitter than the majority of men half his age. His problem is not one of fitness, but it's more structural in nature. So imagine, if you will, that your body consists of a series of levers, so that's your bones, pulleys, that's your muscles, and these are attached to each other by very stiff rubber bands. And you can think of this as so, like you've got your Achilles tendon, for example, your quadriceps tendon that attach the muscle to the bone. And the lubrication, the integrity of these structures is determined by the cartilage and the ligaments. So they keep everything kind of lined up in the right way and moving well together. Okay. In my dad's case, and then and then and then the thing that moves these pulleys is the motor. So that's like the contractile ability of the tissue, the muscles, and how strong that motor is. Okay, you can think of that as your nervous system and your kind of how strong the muscle is. All right. So in my dad's case, this motor can run all day long. It's very efficient, but it doesn't produce much power, and that is a problem. Okay. Also, the ropes and the pulleys are frayed and beginning to wear out, uh, and the pulleys themselves need to be oiled or upgraded. Here's where my dad's body differs from thinking about this as like a mechanical system. My dad's body is an adaptable living organism that can respond and adapt to the stimulus it perceives. So what can we do about it? So this is where the barbell comes in. We need to deliver an we need to deliver an appropriate, measurable amount of stimulus to his body so that we can encourage his body to adapt, then fuel this adaptation with a protein-rich diet and allow enough rest for the increase in strength to be realized. This is known as the stress recovery adaptation cycle and is a foundational process to the success of a properly executed strength training program. If not considered or accounted for, the goal of getting stronger will not be met with any great degree of success. The barbell is 100% the most effective, efficient, and safe way to provide the sufficient dose required to stimulate adaptation. The adaptation we are looking for is increased muscular strength. So my dad is currently learning how to squat, press, bench press, and deadlift. We will add a little bit of weight each session. I will encourage him to eat more fish, eat more meat, fish, and eggs to increase his protein intake. And I will even encourage him to put on weight. This is very important, as most of you are so focused on losing weight, you're driving yourself further and further towards the edge of the cliff that is frailty. Once you're over the edge, it is damn hard to come back from. So, if you want to ask me any more questions, any strength training, whether it's for you or someone you know, you can shoot me a message and we can have a chat. It might be the best thing you ever did. Cheers. It's Coach James from Auckland Barbell Club. Any questions, just shoot me a message and we can have a chat. And I'll speak to you all later. Thank you.